myself Vinod Kumar from Pramana PU College, and I welcome you all for this Pramana PU College online classes. And before this lockdown, in our theory classes, I had started one of the topic from modern physics, that is dual nature of matter and radiation. Okay students, anyhow I have given you introduction, and after introduction on that day even we have discussed about electronic emission, different types of electron emission, and also Hertz observation, Halbach and Lenard's observation, and experimental study of photoelectric effect. And along with the experimental study, we have gone through some experimental details and conclusions of that experiment. I hope that you might be remember all those concepts which is required for today's class. But anyhow, it's my immense pleasure that I have to start my topic with all basic concepts which are related for this topic. Okay, that is from concepts of physics. For your syllabus, you know that already there are 15 chapters will be there, and all these 15 chapters are incorporated into 10 units. They made it as 10 units. In that they have incorporated all these topics. Among them, one of the chapter the chapter 11, dual nature of matter and radiation. See, once if you look into this name of the topic, you have a word dual, and this dual word is preferred for the matter and for radiation. Remember students, our universe is made of so many things. Our universe is made of so many things, and all these things were categorized into two main branches, or the two main entities, depending upon their contrast behavior. And remember, the nature has got two entities, the matter and radiation. And in this matter and radiation, the so many things of this universe will come. So because of the contrast behavior, we classify them one as matter and another one as radiation. But the topic name is here dual nature of matter and radiation. It means this matter and radiation they have got two natures here. What are those two natures? See, this matter and radiation has got a two nature. One is particle nature and another one is wave nature. Very simple. See, radiation is nothing but the what? It is a form of energy. So matter is nothing but the what? A massive object. And remember, while dealing this topic, so next we are dealing about de Broglie's hypothesis in further classes. At the time, you will recall one hypothesis that the de Broglie is going to summarize there. Our nature loves symmetry. Remember, matter and energy are nothing but the what? They are one and the same. So energy can expressed and energy can have the behavior of matter, that is nothing but radiation can have a behavior of matter, and also matter will simultaneously has the behavior of a radiation. But there are certain conditions, there are some restrictions to have this dual behavior. So what are those restrictions and what are the conclusions? So what are the main experiments which will confirm about this two natures of the matter and radiation? Regarding that we shall discuss further in our class. Now, what is the representation of this? First we shall go for what is the distinguish I can make between this matter and radiation. As I told that our universe is made of so many things, and because of some contrast properties among them, we broadly classify one category as matter and another category as radiation. See, if I take radiation, generally radiation is nothing but the what? It is a form of energy. Either that energy is of light energy. So light energy means either it is of X-ray, either it is of gamma ray, okay, etc. So if I take matter, so all material particles will come under this matter. All material particles. And next, radiation, definitely it is not visible. But matter, visible. Radiation possesses energy. Even material particles also possess energy. Here I want to clear you one. Radiation possesses energy means mainly here representative of energy is frequency. Frequency of that particular source is the representation of energy associated with the radiation. Whereas in case of matter, the energy representative is mechanical energy. It is purely mechanical in nature. Either kinetic energy or potential, or both. So it possesses mechanical energies, mechanical in nature it is, hence it has kinetic energy or potential energy. See, radiation spreads, whereas the matter cannot spread. And remember, the main representative of this radiation is light. Light is the main representative of radiation. Here, for a matter, a smallest entity of a matter, that is nothing but electron. Electrons are the representative of this material particle. So this was the distinguish. So still many more distinguish we can make between the radiation and particle here. And remember, radiation do not possess any momentum but whereas particle possess the momentum. So radiation do not possess any kind of momentum here, but particle can possess the momentum. So like this, if we make so many distinguish among the radiation and matter, but though also this radiation and matter will exhibit two natures, and these two natures cannot be separated by any things, or these two natures cannot be deviated by using any quantities or any things. It means radiation as well as a matter has got two natures. So sometime radiation, along with all this property and many more, it can also sometimes behaves as, it can also have these properties. And in the same way, matter along with all these properties, it can also have some these property. So that is the reason that de Broglie suggested here. So moreover, before the de Broglie, actually Albert Einstein, with the help of Max Planck's quantum theory, he suggested that the radiation as well as matter, the two things, they will exhibit a dual nature, and this nature cannot be separated from one another. So it means radiation exhibits sometimes material nature as well as radiation will also exhibits the wave nature. In the same way, matter also exhibit so wave nature and sometimes it exhibit a particle nature. And de Broglie suggested here why this dual nature is there means because nature loves symmetry. Once if the material particle is exhibiting particle as well as a wave nature means simultaneously radiation could also experience the wave and the particle nature. So now comes the question, what are the concepts or what are the not the concepts, so what are the phenomena that can be treated as light as a wave or light as a particle? So what are those concepts? So regarding that we shall study right now. See, if you go through the phenomena such as reflection, refraction, photoelectric effect, Compton effect, so in all these phenomena we treat light as a particle. So it means first in this chapter we are not studying about the this dual nature of matter. First we study about the dual nature of this radiation and what are the theories which supports for the proof of having the particle nature of the radiation. First we are going to study about radiation. So radiation and its particle nature we study first. We study about its particle nature. How radiation exhibit particle nature. So wave nature, electron, but particle nature. Remember here, while telling radiation has got a particle nature, the particle nature of light was proved by the person Newton. So Newton, he had proved about the particle nature of this light, and later on with the development and with the advantage of this physics, and so many theories were arised, and because of the Albert Einstein, Max Planck and de Broglie, some new hypotheses came, and from all those hypotheses we conclude that radiation will behave as a particle, and that particle nature of the radiation or particle nature of the light. So radiation, the representative of radiation is nothing but light. So here the particle nature of the light was proved by some scientists, and there are so many explanations regarding this. We shall go through that one by one. So okay, so presently today's class we are going to study about the particle nature of the radiation and what are the theories which supports for the particle nature of the radiation. For this we require to look into some concepts which will prove about this particle nature. Means remember, the particle nature of the radiation can be explained either with the phenomena of reflection, phenomena of refraction, photoelectric effect and Compton effect. And remember, which are the theory, which are the phenomena which supposed to explain the wave nature of radiation? Means the phenomena such as interference, polarization, diffraction. So all these phenomena will explain about the wave nature of radiation. Wave nature of radiation. Now actual syllabus will begins right now. So once again, don't forget about what we are going to study in this topic. Mainly among the two different natures, the two natures of the matter and radiation. In that we are going to study about the two natures for matter. But first we study about the radiation. So this radiation will possess particle nature and wave nature. The particle nature we are going to study at first. For that we require the concept of electron emission. Electron emission. What is electron emission? Very simple. Electron emission is nothing but the phenomena of emission of electrons from the surface of a metal is called electron emission. Whether is it electrons get easily come out from the surface of a metal, and how we make them to come out from the surface of a metal? Very simple, that If you illuminate a certain particular frequency of radiation on the materials, nothing but a metallic grade, then what happens? Some part of the energy get utilized. Say for example, there is a metallic surface here. It consists in some electrons. So we call them electrons as a free electrons. Say there is a one metallic surface here. Say metallic surface is here. It contains some free electrons. We call them as valency electron also. When I illuminate a certain particular frequency of radiation, what happens? Some part of energy get transferred to the electron, and with the make use of this energy, the electron will get ejected. Electron will get ejected into the free space, or negatively charged entity of that material will come out. So this type of emission is called electron emission. Next, depending upon the source, what you are subjecting, what you are supplying in order to have an electron emission, depending upon that, we have 4 different types of electron emission. Number 1 is field emission. Sorry, the first one is thermionic emission. Thermionic emission. Thermionic emission. Number 2 is field emission. Number 4 is photoelectric emission. Photoelectric emission. Number 4th one is secondary emission. So what are these 4 different types of emissions here? On what basis we have these 4 different types of emission means? Very simple. Depending upon the source, what you are subjecting in order to eject the electrons from the surface of a metal. So depending upon the source, we have 4 different types. So if I supply heat energy in order to eject the electrons, that is to be termed as thermionic emission. So what is thermionic emission? Emission of electrons from the surface of a metal when the metallic surface is subjected for a very high temperature around 2500 degree Celsius. So if I take at this temperature, the electrons on the surface of a metal will acquire sufficient energy in order to overcome with the restraining forces. So what is here restraining force means? Once if you illuminate a radiation on the surface of a metal, the free electron will leave its position. When it leaves its position, that acquires a positive charge. When a metallic surface get illuminated by radiation, say here is a free electron. Once if this free electron left its orbit or left its place, means that place will acquire positive charge. Due to the negative and positive charge at a certain particular distance, there exists the what? Electrostatic force. There exists some electrostatic field here. So because of this reason, what happens? Here the electron cannot get detached very easily from the surface of a metal. In order to overcome this restraining force, we need to illuminate a certain particular frequency of a radiation or some high energy radiation. So in case of thermionic emission, to eject the electrons from the surface of a metal, I need to take a surface of a metal at 2500 degree Celsius. More the temperature, more will be the rate of emission of electrons from the surface. And remember, thermionic emission is used in cathode ray tubes, as particularly J.J. Thomson used cathode ray tube for determination of cathode rays, nothing but electrons. Next we have field emission. What is field emission? In the name itself, field. Instead of supplying any heat, instead of heating the metal surface, so if the metallic surface is subjected for a strong electric field, And what is the strong electric field means? Nearly 10 to the power of 8 volt per meter. When such a strong electric field is subjected for the metallic plate, then the electrons will come out from the surface of a metal because of this strong electric field. So such type of emission is called as field emission. And remember, this field emission is used in production of X-rays. Next, photoelectric emission, very important concept, and this concept we are going to study for the giving the proof of particle nature of the radiation. Throughout this chapter, maximum we are going to study this photoelectric emission, and this photoelectric emission will give the proof for particle nature of the light, that is nothing but particle nature of the radiation. So what is photoelectric emission means? Emission of electrons from the surface of a metal when it was illuminated by a particular frequency of light. When it was illuminated by a particular frequency of light. Photo means light. With the help of light energy, we are going to generate an electricity or electric field. So that is nothing but photoelectric emission. Phenomenon of emission of electrons from the surface of a metal when a particular frequency of light is incident on the surface of a metal. Such type of emission is called photoelectric emission. And this photoelectric emission is mainly used in photocells. And the electrons which are ejected from the surface of a metal due to the illumination of light are called as photoelectrons. Photoelectrons. And these photoelectrons will constitute the current called as photoelectric current. Next, secondary emission. What is secondary emission? Secondary emission is nothing but what? Emission of the electrons from a surface of a metal when the surface of a metal is subjected for bombarding with a fast moving electrons. Say this is a surface of a metal consisting of some free electrons on the surface, and remember these free electrons will never come out without supplying any energy. So they definitely require some amount of energy to overcome the restraining forces. So because of that reason, what happens? We need to supply some amount of energy. So let us consider the surface of a metal. Suppose if the fast moving electrons, very important this is, if a fast moving electrons will bombard or will collide with this metallic surface, then the electrons will acquire or they gain the kinetic energy. They gain the kinetic energy of this fast moving electron, and thereby they overcome with the restraining force and they get ejected into the free space. So this type of emission is called secondary emission. Why the name is used secondary means these ejected electrons are called secondary electron and the illuminated electrons are called as primary electron. Due to these primary electrons, the electrons from the surface are ejected. So that is the reason these electrons are called secondary electrons. And this type of emission is used in mainly detecting gamma rays. Detection of gamma ray will employ the secondary emission. So next, topic is photoelectric effect. What is photoelectric effect? Photoelectric effect. So what is photoelectric effect? Phenomena of emission of electrons from the surface of a metal when the metallic surface is illuminated with a certain particular frequency of radiation, then the phenomenon is referred as photoelectric effect. Here the word suitable frequency is very, very important. So later on I am going to tell you why suitable frequency is used here while telling the definition of this photoelectric effect. See, the electrons emitted from the surface of a metal are called photoelectrons, and these electrons will be responsible for the carrying the photoelectric current. Remember, the photoelectric current the photoelectric current constituted by the photoelectrons due to the movement of photoelectrons has got some variations with respect to the source of light, and regarding that variation and all the experimental details of this photoelectric effect, we are going to study after the concept of Hertz observation. So what is this Hertz observation means? Hertz observation. What is Hertz observation? Hertz observed that what the observation he did means, if you take a metallic surface, suppose if you illuminate a UV radiation, ultraviolet radiation, then this metallic surface will lose some negatively charged particles when it was get illuminated by an ultraviolet radiation, and these negatively charged particles get ejected into the free space, and these negatively charged particles are nothing but the electrons. So first Hertz was made this observation of ejection of electrons from the surface of a metal when they get illuminated with an ultraviolet radiation. Remember here another one point here regarding this method is also nothing but photoelectric effect only. Here the rate of emission of electrons, this is very important, rate of emission of electrons from the surface of a metal is mainly depends upon intensity of the incident radiation. They depends upon the what? Intensity. Rate of emission of electrons depends on intensity of incident radiation. And after the ejection of negatively charged particles, they are in state of motion, then their kinetic energy of ejected electrons is mainly depends on frequency. This is very important. Frequency. This is the observation, and we are recording this observation from photoelectric effect, so simultaneously with Hertz observation. So once again we have a proof for this observation. How you can say that rate of emission of electron depends on intensity of the incident radiation? Its meaning is very simple. More will be the intensity of the radiation, means more will be the rate of emission of electron. More number of electrons get ejected per second. Then now comes the question, what do you mean by intensity? Some students will not knowing about this intensity. Intensity means it is nothing but energy per second per unit area. Energy per second per unit area. That we are going to call it as intensity. Say I have a source of light here. A bulb you can think. I have a source of 100 watt bulb. It means it generates 100 joules of energy per second per meter square of the area of this filament. Very simple. Okay. Next. Next topic is Hava and Lenard's observations. Hava and Lenard's observations of what? Photoelectric effect. For this we need one simple See, here I am considering one evacuated glass tube provided with small opening called window. Remember, this evacuated tube consisting or enclosed by two metallic surfaces. One plate is called emitter plate, another one plate is called collector plate. What is the function of emitter plate means? It is a photosensitive material plate which is sensitive for light. When it gets illuminated with a radiation or light of a certain frequency, then it ejects the electrons. It ejects the electrons. Unless illumination of source of light, there is no ejection of electrons, and hence there is no photoelectric current in the circuit. See, first Lenard observed that when one of the plate called emitter plate connected to the negative potential and the collector plate is set at positive potential. So when this is at negative potential and collector plate at positive potential, unless illumination of this radiation, there is no current. So how to notice that current means? Very simple. We have to introduce one ammeter here. So with the deflection of ammeter, we are going to confirm about photoelectric current. Very simple. So Lenard observed that when emitter plate is connected at negative potential and collector plate is connected at positive potential, and unless the illumination of UV radiation, there is no current. Now he illuminated ultraviolet radiation. After illumination of ultraviolet radiation of certain frequency, very important this term, of a certain frequency, he found that there is a ejection of electrons. And remember, these ejected electrons, as soon they get attracted towards this collector plate, and remember this collector plate was a positive potential, and this positive potential plate attracts these electrons, and thereby it constitutes the current known as photoelectric current. That current is known as photoelectric current. This is the observation made by Lenard. Next observation is Halbach. So Halbach made some observation here. What is the observation he made? When we incident some particular radiation, so not necessarily ultraviolet radiation, or any other type of radiation also. Later on I will tell you the nature of this emitter plate, how it depends upon the source of light and for what particular light they get emit the electron. So what are the different materials which eject only for UV or visible, that we shall discuss in the next step. But now here, so Halbach observed that when we incident a radiation on the surface of a metal, why negatively charged particles will emit? Why we can't have an emission of positive particle? So for this observation, he did one simple experiment. So what is that experiment means? He took one zinc plate. Of course, zinc is also a photosensitive plate. He took one zinc plate. And which was negatively charged plate. And this charge negative, the indication of negative charge on zinc plate was done with the help of electroscope. He connected this negatively charged zinc plate to a device known as electroscope, and electroscope is a device which concludes about the presence of charge, and even it will also use it for measuring the potential difference, electroscope. Okay, now negatively charged zinc plate he took and he illuminated UV radiation. When he illuminated UV radiation, he surprisingly observed about the charge lost by the zinc plate. The charge on the zinc plate get lost. Now there is no charge on the zinc plate. The negative charge get lost by the zinc plate when it was illuminated by UV. And further, when uncharged zinc plate was further he illuminated with UV radiation, then he observed that the same zinc plate which was get uncharged when it was illuminated by UV, now once again it is illuminated by UV radiation, uncharged zinc plate, wonderfully observed that zinc charge will acquire a positive charge. zinc charge became a positive. Now he had confirmed about that there are some particular, not every in the sense, there are some particular material plates. There are some particular material plates. Here he had taken zinc plate. Okay, so we can also take cadmium plate, manganese plates, etc. So he observed and he concluded that when we illuminate an ultraviolet radiation on the zinc plate, always negatively charged particles will be ejected, and these negatively charged particles are nothing but electrons, and these electrons will be responsible for carrying of current, and that current will be called as photoelectric current. Later on, so further, after observing some observation regarding the electron emission and photoelectric effect and photoelectric current, further Halbach and Lenard concluded one conclusion simultaneously. What the conclusion they came is, they told about the ejection of electrons from the surface of a metal when it is illuminated by a particular frequency of radiation or some particular radiation. Then further they confirmed that if you illuminate any radiation, either UV or visible or X-rays or gamma rays, if you illuminate any particular frequency radiation, suppose if the frequency of this radiation, this is very important topic students, suppose if the frequency of the incident radiation is below the certain minimum value, certain minimum value, at that condition, no electrons will be ejected. It means for the ejection of electrons from the surface of a metal, the frequency should have certain particular value, certain particular minimum frequency should be required. Suppose if you go below that minimum frequency, no emission of electron takes place. Then now comes the question, what is that particular minimum frequency? What is that certain minimum value of frequency? That minimum value of frequency they called as threshold frequency. They called that frequency, particular frequency as a threshold frequency. Now we shall define what is that threshold frequency. They called it as threshold frequency. See, threshold frequency may be defined as minimum frequency of incident radiation for which emission of electrons takes place. Is called threshold frequency. This frequency they call as threshold frequency. Threshold frequency. See, if you take a zinc plate, it has its own threshold frequency. Only if you are supplying that particular frequency, then only it will gives out its electrons. If you go below that, it cannot eject the electron. So this is called threshold frequency. And remember here, further, Halbach and Lenard have said that this threshold frequency threshold frequency is mainly depends upon nature of emitter, nature of the material. Yes, this nature of the material. So this nature of the material is used as emitter here in case of photoelectric effect. It depends upon the nature of the material. If I take a zinc plate or cadmium or manganese, in case of these metallic plates, remember these metallic plates will only sensitive for UV light frequencies, means they have their threshold frequencies corresponding to the ultraviolet radiation. Suppose if I illuminate a zinc plate with visible, it won't eject the electrons because it has its threshold frequency corresponding to the UV radiation. Suppose if I take alkali metals, such as sodium, lithium, sodium, magnesium, okay, these metallic surfaces, they can have a threshold frequencies even for UV, even for visible also. So these type of materials are called as photosensitive materials. These type of materials are called as photosensitive materials. Okay students, so today I have given you some simple introduction regarding this dual nature of matter and radiation, as well as I told you about the basic concept of electron emission and what are the different types of electron emission and what is Bird's observation and what is photoelectric effect and what are the Halbach and Lenard's observation regarding photoelectric effect. So regarding this I told, and remember, so even though we are discussing all these topics are pertaining to the proof of particle nature of radiation. Remember, first we are proving particle nature of light with the concept of photoelectric effect and its experimental results. So in my next video lecture, I am going to explain about experimental study of photoelectric effect and how this photoelectric current is depends upon intensity of the incident radiation, frequency of the radiation, and the potential between the emitter and collector plate or nature of the emitter plate. So regarding that I am going to explain in my next lecture. So in the next class we shall proceed the concepts of this dual nature of matter and radiation. Okay, thank you.